So blue back the spine on this, and we have 54 HRC on the edge, on the top, sorry, and 62.5 on the edge. So I've marked the centre line on there. I'm going to go and grind the bevel in. You can see the blade is beautiful and straight.
Well guys, I don't think you want to see a whole video of me grinding a knife, so I'll just briefly talk through this first little bit and then that'll do. So I've got a 36 grit belt on here. I wasn't even going to bother recording this, but I turned the camera on as I'd got half of this side done. What I'll do is I'll show you on the other side when I start that. Okay, so here we go. First of all, I've knocked the 45s off on the edge of this on the bench grinder, just because it strips grit off your belt if you don't do that. And I'm just going to aim for that almost to the centre line that I scribed on the edge. And I'm going to keep grinding away at the side until I get midway, halfway into the width of the blade, like I've done on the side that's facing me. And as I grind here, I'll keep dropping the spine of the knife towards the belt, so it takes the grind higher and higher till I hit the midpoint. When I get to the midpoint, I will then go from the midpoint to the spine. When I've got that ground in, that doesn't take long at all, and when that's ground in, I will then go to the slack belt on the top of the grinder, and I will then blend those two grinds in to form a very, very subtle convex. I will then go from the edge to the middle of the knife to form a further slight convex towards the edge. It's very, very subtle, but it's just not a dead flat. And you can see here that's started on this side, and that's kind of halfway, well, just slightly above halfway on the other side. So I'll take this side up exactly the same, just really to the edge of that blue backing.
Well, sooner or later you always get to your favourite place, and we're here now. So let the sanding commence.
Well, I finished off on the belt grinder at 400 grit, I think it was, kind of blended. Now I'm going to further refine that convex with 320 grit paper. The trouble is that hardened edge, the paper's not biting. It's scratching it, but it's not biting into the steel. It's so hard. And I've got a rubber backed backer there on my paper, which I use to blend and round the blade in. Well, the spine is softer. It's biting really nice there. That edge is so hard that it's skating across. So and what I'm going to do is use an EDM stone to sand or clean up the bottom half of the blade. I'm starting off here with a 240 grit, then I think I've got a 320, 350, and then a 6, and I might even have an 8, but I'll use all them just on this hardened bottom edge. It's not that the paper won't do it, it's just that it destroys the paper in a couple of passes, and the stones are just so much quicker than paper.
Oh, 1200 grit. And that'll kind of do for Damascus. It's had its quota of blood off me. Just happened to just touch that edge as I was sanding, and she cut me. So she's had her blood and should be alright now. Well, there's just that other side to sand up now. Well, handle wise, I'm going with some of this really kind of black African blackwood, or it's some kind of rosewood. I'm not really actually sure what it is, but it's a very robust oily wood which will be great for a chef knife handle. And I'm going to put some of this alpha in ivory, which is a substitute ivory along the front of it. So I'll put a couple of pieces each side at the front and we'll get a contrasting sort of handle. So that's what I've ended up with on the handle. I'm just going to go and sand it now, get it on the belt sander, clean it up. When I'm done with sanding on this knife, there will be no more work to do, because the wood finish is the finish. It really is a resinous oily wood. Now, pretty impervious, which is why I chose it really. There's a bit less maintenance with it. And they're kind of oil finish.
So I'm just cutting up some really old pine here, which was probably 100 years old when I got it. Some old draw carcasses. I'm going to make a case for the knife out of this, just to keep it in. It'll also help it in while it's being transported or shipped. I'm going to glue a couple of strips just marginally thicker than the blade in there, so the blade's fairly tight. Glue the spine part on first, then glue the bottom section on. Clamp it up. Left a little weep hole there for anything that gets inside. It can maybe be poked out. It'd be pretty impossible without that. I'm just going to chamfer the fronts off there, so it makes it a lot easier for the knife to be put inside. I'll do that on both sides. I'm going to give the inside a couple of coats of this shellac polish, which is a meth based shellac, so it dries very, very quickly. You know, it dries within under about a minute. I'll give it 2 coats of that. That'll completely seal the inside and stop it getting wet or oily or mucky. Now that's done, I'll get the case glued up, and when it's been glued and glue set, I'll put it on the belt sander and clean the whole thing up.
How does it cut?
Cuts really, really clean, very nice. As you probably saw in the description, this knife is for Madeleine. So Madeleine, I really hope you enjoy it. Please watch your fingers. You may want to, I don't know, once it loses its real scalpel edge, you may want to not bother sharpening it for a while, because it will still cut. This tomato is so soft. It was some old ones I had in the fridge. Really soft and squashy. You can see it just cuts them with ease. Well, there's the knife. All done. Very, very happy with the pattern. The welds are all beautiful and clean, around 700 welds. It's about just slightly over 2.5mm thick on the spine. It tapers, full taper to the edge, with a very, very slight convex over the whole width of the blade. It etched out really nice. There's a really nice chatoyance. Maybe the camera can't pick it up on the blade. The handle is, I'm almost certain it's desert ironwood. It's really nice. It's so oily it doesn't need anything else.
And this goes to the same client. I've not actually shown him a picture of this yet, so he'll get a good look at it. It's a fox blade, 3mm with olive handle, and I've just started making the sheath for this, which I will finish this weekend, and then this can also go with the knife. It's snowing! Really enjoyed making that knife. Onward and upward. Future projects are scrap damascus, some new knives in scrap damascus, various mixtures of scrap damascus. Let's see what sort of nice patterns we can pull out of them. Probably carbon core blades, some wrought iron forging to make some axes, possibly hammers as well. I've got a surface grinder attachment build coming, which I'm making for somebody, so I'll bring you in on that one as well. I've got some forging dies I need to make for forging out this wrought iron and various other things, so I'm going to kind of make some bigger dies for the forging press. I've got a really new style of Damascus I'm going to do. I won't say too much at the moment, but I'm going to be trying that out very shortly. I've actually got to make the Damascus. I'll tell you'll see. I'm going to do another first for me, which is some stainless Damascus. We'll see how that comes out. Lots and lots of projects I just want to get done at the beginning of this year, before I go back into sort of making production knives and this, that and the other. Also, got a couple of kukri builds. Which one of them? I don't know. I haven't decided. Been playing with these patterns for a while now. Quite like that bottom one. That's similar but a little bit straighter spine on it. I don't know. Might make them both. Might do them in wrought iron and carbon. We'll see. Be coming up in a video very soon. I'm just going to show you around the workshop. No, I'm not. I was just messaging, I was chatting to one of my patrons. He was asking me what I was up to, and I told him that the sides of the workshop and all the junk in it are gradually creeping towards the middle. Man, I've got to clean up, I'm ashamed of it. So every single surface in this shop has got something on it, has got stuff piled up. I need 2 good full days to push everything back, sort everything out. I've lost 3 squares in the last month. Can't find them. They're just somewhere amongst all this rubbish. That's what happens when I'm busy. I don't tidy up. I just tidy my bench up every night. When I've finished, everything else gets dumped. Gonna have a clear up.
So there's a few knives here that are going on my website. These are some new friction folders in 8 EBL stainless, which has had an acid stonewash on them. That's in olive with the Kydex neck sheath. This one's in bog oak, a couple of 1,000 years old timber scales, white liners, ABL, acid stonewash. Nice little knives, perfectly legal carry in the UK, these. That's a blade I had on my website a while ago. The pictures were rubbish. I'm going to put it back on. It's in Boyer burl with some red and black liners. Hand tooled leather sheath there. Really nice knife. These are 2 new little neck knives with leather sheaths. ABL stainless, acid stonewash, London plain handle on that one with some vibrant liners. Really nice, comfortable little knives, these. Very useful. There's another one there which is a kind of mystery blonde wood. Good snaps on these as well. Same profile, same knife, just slightly different timber with, I think it's a black liner on it.
If you're interested in any knives, I just showed you my website's in the description box below. Thanks again to all my patrons. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for your comments. Please give it a like if you want. A thumb up, down if you don't like. Entirely up to you. Alright guys, I'll see you quite soon. Bye for now.